Welcome back, everybody, to Strictly Biased with yours truly, Will Retherford. We are out here tonight. This might be the most pleasant Tuesday evening in October I've ever experienced in my life. We are at the Creekside Chateau, a little change from Stage 22, but I'm here with, and I'll keep
Bible study at Stage 22 tonight.
I'll keep it short. I know you just heard it just got revealed, but I have an incredibly special guest, and he needs nothing more than the legend. Greg Mengelt is here.
Got to legend early.
Yes, you have been talking a lot about how I go on too long. I like to give you a great introduction to show just how great you are for the Central Indiana Sports Report, but we are just blessed to be here tonight. As I said, it just doesn't get a whole lot better than this. This is week 6 of it being absolutely perfect weather when we're recording the show.
The weather since, mid-August has been incredible, and it makes me think this winter is going to be awful.
We're going to get humbled, but we're going to enjoy it now while we can. I think only a couple more weeks probably being able to sit outside and do this show, but here we are, ready to bring it to all of you. I have really enjoyed doing this new show this season. Greg, I have a lot to say tonight, but first, what do you want to know?
I know you're going to have a lot to say about what I'm going to ask you, and Will, your thoughts, and I know deep inside you feel redeemed by your opinions on what's going on there, your thoughts on the situation in Nashville.
Well, I will start off by prefacing the fact that Brian Callahan was potentially the most inept head coach I have ever watched in my entire life. He looked completely lost. Basically, any opportunity he was given, he was a horrible hire. Mike Vrabel should have never been fired, and I think this goes beyond just Brian Callahan's ineptness and goes really to the institution of the Tennessee Titans. I think it's a poor ownership group. I don't think they have any creative vision as to what they want their team to be. I think they hired a guy that had no business being an NFL head coach. I don't think he was particularly great as the offensive coordinator on a team that he wasn't even calling plays for, but how many times do we have to go on this carousel of firing an NFL head coach after we draft a quarterback with the first overall pick? This is now the 4th straight time that an NFL head coach has gotten fired after the season that the team drafted a quarterback. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, and now Cam Ward. They're ruining these quarterbacks. It's organizational ineptitude. There's no vision. Why are we drafting a quarterback number 1 if we're not confident that the head coach is going to be the guy with him throughout the entire year? Why are we firing him when our team is horrible? We knew it was going to be horrible.
We had the number 1 pick for a reason.
And we're going to have it again, probably, because they're that bad. It just baffles me how people prop up the NFL as like, oh, we've got a bunch of geniuses making ideas. And
Who's saying that?
The longer...
you get 4 of them, and that's why they win all the championships.
You get on TV, and everybody's so high on everyone. We love everyone. And I'll just come out and say it. The NFL is full of a lot of dumbasses.
Or the same teams win over and over because the rest of the teams are dumb.
And until that changes, where you actually have smart people running these football operations, nothing will ever change. And it couldn't happen to a better organization because they made a really big mistake by firing Mike Vrabel, and now they're lost again and searching for direction.
Love it.
And
Love it.
Cam Ward, I don't know what he becomes now because we've seen this tale. What does Bryce Young become? I'm not sure. What does Caleb Williams? He actually looks pretty good, so I'll give him that. Trevor Lawrence has been admirable. I mean, I think he may have came into the worst situation in NFL history with that team, with what Urban Meyer was, and he's been...
Well,
2 of the 3 quarterbacks look like they're NFL starters, and 1, I think, probably is. I think Bryce Young's a decent quarterback. I don't think he's great.
career backup.
I don't know if he's good, but he's going to have
a quarterback. You got it.
He's going to have a career. But I would like to finish off by saying that until the NFL decides that we want to have a direction and we are comfortable in the idea of staying true to what we believe when we draft these quarterbacks, number 1, whether it be starting them day 1, whether it be sitting them behind a backup, whether it be maybe a little mix of both, where we sit them behind a backup for the first 8 weeks of the year, and then the last 8 weeks we give them the runway and say, go prove why you're the number 1 draft pick. But I think expecting these quarterbacks to just come out and be generational at the first green light that they're given, it's just ineptitude, and it's why you've seen career resurgences from 4 or 5 quarterbacks that were written off in the last 2 years. So that's all I have to say. But
they had a top 10, 15 coach in the NFL without question.
Titans full of dipshits, and they will continue to run that franchise into the ground. I'm glad Nashville's great, but, well, it's not.
Nah,
but
it's not.
Whatever.
It's in Tennessee. It sucks.
Hey, Will, who are the winners and the losers of the week? Hey, Will, who are the winners and the losers of the week?
Hey, Will, before we get to your winners and losers of the week, just want to remind everyone that later this week, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, we will have your picks for week 7, and you are 1 point behind the lead in our picks competition.
Yeah. I got hosed last night.
Behind
you. Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
But we have now cleared the obstacle that was producer Susie. Her reign was awfully mighty there at the beginning, but
beautiful.
That is absolutely true. Couldn't do it without her. But, water has found its level. She had a rough week, but I think she's gonna bounce back. But first time she's faced adversity all year, so we'll see. We'll see the cloth she's cut.
She's feeling the pressure. She told me that this week.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-horse race the rest of the way. We have it's
a long season.
We have a lot of gap between us and 4th.
It's a long season, Will. Somebody can get every pick right 1 week and be right there with them.
We're seeing the board awfully well. Also, I would like to preface that I know that this is not the college football show, but Greg and I believe are the only 2 that are in both that are top 5 in both.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
I'm way in the bottom in the high school picks.
So we're going to start with losers because we want to talk about winners last.
Absolutely.
So I'll just start quickly. They won this week, but my number 5 is the Green Bay Packers. They just cannot put teams away.
I still think they're good, Will. I still think we're going to hear from them in the end, but I'm not sure anymore.
You just see this a lot in teams that do not fare well in the postseason. I think they'll get to the playoffs. I really do. They have shown that they are a really capable offense, but I don't know. They've won by 2 scores in every win, but they just let teams hang on. Like they're kicking a field goal with 30 seconds left and then giving the ball back. That Bengals game was a 1-score game. The Browns, they were up 10 and had 3 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter and lose. They tied to the Cowboys. The Commanders, they scored 1 by 9 on Thursday Night Football.
Push up.
Yep. I don't know. They're winning through the run game. Jacobs has been worth all the money you've paid him. I think the defense is still a work in progress. I'm not overly concerned, but they just need to be able to put bad teams away, something we've seen out of our Indianapolis Colts, and it's a character flaw that I don't like. Number 4, Washington, not doing 20 push-ups. They fumble the game away, and they absolutely screw me out of taking the lead through 6 weeks. Baffling. I was sitting on the couch just, wow, that is crazy.
To be fair,
the Bears, I'm glad that Jaden Daniels handed them another win. It was great. He performed pretty well, I would say. He did have 3 turnovers. That is a blemish, definitely. I thought that they could not run the ball effectively with Krosky-Mayer at all. I just think that run game was vanilla. Their outside sweeps were not effective. I thought their inside zone game worked a lot better. I think that Krosky-Mayer works better in between the tackles.
Last year was smoke and mirrors made possible by a once-in-a-lifetime rookie season.
The backfield by committee's got to go. Like, Bill Krosky-Mayer is their best back without question. They have got to find a way to work him in third downs. Like, you got to get your most talented player on the field as much as possible. Do we really want Chris Rodriguez taking snaps away from a guy that can literally score a touchdown on any play? No. Get rid of it. Use him as your bell cow, not to the extent of Jonathan Taylor, but he needs to be on the field with a snap share well over 60%. I think for this team to continue to be effective. Number 3, the Cleveland Browns have not scored more than 18 points in almost 11 months. Their defense continues to look competitive. With only more than 22 points given up in 4 of their 6 games. A couple of those were rough losses, Ravens and...
that's field position stuff, too.
I agree. Their offense lacked any creativity for the most part. I have no idea how Kevin Stefanski still has a job.
I mean, he's 2-time coach of the year, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, awesome. I'm glad. He rode on the coattails of an incredible defense, and Joe Flacco caught fire there the last 6 weeks of the season he came in.
You have a good defense and a good offensive line, you can have a good team no matter who the skill position.
They're just super ineffective in both the pass game and the run game. I will say Harold Fannin Jr., their tight end they drafted in the 3rd round, Maction guy, give it to me. He's a bright spot as a rookie. I think that he's going to be a very good tight end. A team that had David Njoku, they like Harold Fannin a little bit more. I'm not sure Dylan Gabriel's a guy. I'm not sure he isn't yet, really, though, either. He's probably a really good backup. Not sure he's an NFL starter.
Career backup.
57.3%, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's just very Justin Fields without the running to me. He's not going to probably turn the ball over a ton, but he's also just not going to make the plays that are needed to be consistently a winning football team. Number 2, I'm sure Mike Hutz will love to hear this. Philadelphia Eagles. They continue to struggle so much offensively. A.J. Brown. 1 year in his career under 1,000 yards. He only played 13 games in that year, had over 800 yards. He is only on pace for 776 yards this season. Saquon Barkley on pace for just over 920 yards following a 2,000-yard season last year, a season that, if you combine regular season and postseason, he had the most yards in a season ever. Offensive line just seems to be an issue. And that defense looked dramatically different without Jalen Carter. If he misses any level of significant time, they are in a lot of trouble. I've never seen a player whose impact was so glaring.
He might be the best defensive player in the NFL right now.
I think so. I mean,
he's a mountain mover.
Jalen Carter's not letting the Giants score 34 points. Let's put it that way.
He's a mountain mover, man.
And my biggest loser, pun intended, for the week was England. The Denver versus New York Jets game was perhaps the worst game I have watched live in my 21 years of life. They had 20 first downs total between the two teams, which is 7 fewer than the previous worst in an overseas game, which has historically always been 2 horrible teams. It wasn't until 2022, I believe.
They've been losing since 1776, man.
Yep. It's unfortunate, but it's just what happens.
So that's why we do. We send them our loser games.
I believe that Giants-Packers in 2021 or 2022 was the first game ever overseas with 2 winning teams. That's really sad when you kind of think about it. Justin Fields, 9 for 17 for 45 yards passing with -10 net passing yards, fewest since 1998. He was sacked 9 times by the Denver Broncos defense, which is awfully dangerous. The Jets are horrible, though. Denver's self-inflicted wounds, I believe, is what kept this game close. They had a couple costly penalties that they could have gotten them in the red zone to make this a game that they win pretty comfortably. That did not happen. Came down to the end.
London, you deserve bad football.
Yep, I agree with that.
And by the way, that's football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Now, on to the winners. Number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers. They win a huge one in Miami. They have a really tough schedule upcoming, and moving to 4-2 in this situation, crossing 3 time zones is big. Justin Herbert once again gets the job done. I know you may not believe this, but I do. He is now second to only Patrick Mahomes in fourth quarter comebacks since 2020. He has 18.
Wow. They
missed Quentin Johnson a lot, and Ladd McConkey stepped up in his absence. I mean, McConkey was incredible last year, but this year, Johnson has definitely taken more targets away from him, so it was cool to see a receiver may not be getting the target share he ultimately deserves, still staying mentally prepared to win any ball game. Kamani Vidal, he stepped up huge, 124 yards on the ground. He had a receiving touchdown to go with that. I think the Chargers defense is still struggling a little bit. Their offensive line issues are still present big time. I'm not convinced that offensive line is good enough to take them to the playoffs. We'll see. Obviously, they're going to get a pretty easy one with the Colts defensive line this next week. But I'm confident in Jim Harbaugh. I'm not slapping him in the face anymore. And to work around the limitations they had, you see the coaching being done. They were out a lot of players. They still find a way to get the job done. And contrary to what you believe, Cameron Dicker is a game changer at the kicker position for the Chargers.
There might be one or two who are. I'm not saying that there's no difference. I'm just saying the difference isn't that big.
He hit 5 field goals in that game. If that doesn't tell you anything, I think it should tell you this. The Chargers need to finish drives to be a legit contender. If they cannot do that, which has been an issue with that team for a while, I don't see this being a Super Bowl year for them. Number 4, last night, the Atlanta Falcons. This team is different, Mercedes-Benz.
At home. They're different.
They play way different at home.
I almost went with you.
Bijan had 170 on the ground with a touchdown, 81-yard touchdown run. He had over 200 scrimmage yards. Their defense forced 2 turnovers on Josh Allen, which Allen has been really good at taking care of the ball the last 2 years. So I think that is a bright spot for that defense. They were in his face all night, too. Their front 4 is definitely improved. I know they drafted defensive help early in the draft last year. That's helped them out significantly. Last 5 years, they've been a bottom 3 team in terms of defensive pressures and sacks. So I think seeing that improve is definitely indicative of Raheem Morris's culture getting set in Atlanta. They're 3-2. They look competitive. We'll see where this team ends up in a wide open NFC, but I think that they can definitely compete for a playoff spot. I think that they're that good.
If they defend their home field and you win at Carolina, or you pick off another game or two somewhere on the road, you're 9-8 or 10-7. You got yourself a shot.
Colts play the Falcons Week 9 in Berlin. That's a game I'm looking forward to.
It's a big one. Who knows neutral what's going to happen?
Yeah, you have no idea.
Hopefully it's an away from home thing.
Yep. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. I know you're probably not going to like them being on the winners. You've been awfully critical. They did look really good on Sunday Night Football, a 30-17 win over the Detroit Lions.
Hey man, I can change my mind as quickly as someone can make me change it.
Mahomes, 4 touchdowns. He's back to old Patrick Mahomes. I think last year was a fluke. He looks really good. Getting Rashee Rice back next week is huge. That might make them the best wide receiver core in Kansas City since Tyreek Hill left. I think with his return to the lineup, obviously Xavier Worthy's been really good. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think if he's your 3, you're really happy. Obviously, they've still got Travis Kelce, who is on the downside, steep downside.
How much does Tyreek Hill regret going to Miami?
It's baffling. It's what happens when you chase money over legacy. It never works.
I'm not sure he did. I think he thought he could do the same thing for Miami.
Well, there's one glaring difference, is that's Mahomes or
but he
Tua.
Thought Tua might be that guy.
Yeah, well, he was wrong, and I don't feel bad for him.
Even he's got to regret it.
Yeah, well,
I do. I like him.
You got paid $30 million. That's awesome. I'm glad you made your money. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyreek was a trade target for the Chiefs coming back at the trade deadline. We'll see. I don't know. Their defense is situationally really good. They get stops when they need it the most. They look like they're finding their groove offensively. I think that makes them really dangerous. I'm still not sold on their run game. They're middle of the pack in terms of rush yards per game. Mahomes has been a heavy chunk of that, which you don't really want him running around a ton. He's great with his feet. He's a great playmaker, but still, I don't want Mahomes as my leading rusher for this team. Number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. This team's dangerous in the West. And it looks like a really tough division. I mean,
well, we picked the Cardinals to win the division. They're the only team in it that's not good.
Hindsight's 2020. What were we thinking?
They're the fucking Cardinals.
What were we thinking? Come on. That they were never winning that division because they don't. With that being said, I believe I had the Seahawks winning that division early in my predictions, so I feel really good about that. It's a team that was 10-7 last year. They just were out of a playoff spot.
I think Seattle, the Rams, and the 49ers have all hit best case scenarios.
Absolutely. Jackson Smith-Njigba, that dude's always open. He has nearly 700 yards through 6 weeks, which is ridiculous pace. Darnold is a top 3 quarterback in pretty much every quarterback statistic there is. Their defensive line continues to improve. They had the most pressures in a game since 2020. They pressured Trevor Lawrence on 54% of his dropbacks. They had 7 sacks.
And more important than all of this, they went across the country and beat a team that's pretty good.
Yep. I actually have an interesting stat on that. In the Michael McDonald era, the Seattle Seahawks are 11-1 on the road.
Whoa.
They are road warriors.
That'll win you a championship.
They are inverted. They really struggle at home, which is funny because the 12th man was supposed to be this incredible home field advantage. Past couple years it hasn't been, but they're able to win on the road. That you love to hear that. My number one winner, it shouldn't come as a surprise. This is a strictly biased show. The Indianapolis Colts. They seemingly get the job done exactly like they need to, regardless of the opponent.
We talked about it on the Colts Report, which is coming out a little later today or tomorrow. They have the best record in the league.
Mhm.
They have the best point differential. They've scored the most points. It's nuts.
Hey, you can't stop. They lost Mooney Ward. Guess what? Still won. Injury starting to pile up on the back end. Guess what? Still won. Front four cannot get probably much worse. I know stats say they're middle of the pack. They're not. They need to improve through the deadline. If not, I don't know if this season ends like this team wants to. This has AFC Championship team written all over it the way they played these first 6 weeks. I know that sounds crazy coming into the beginning of the year.
It's true. The Bills aren't the Bills that we thought.
No.
The Ravens aren't the Ravens we thought. The Chiefs aren't the Chiefs of the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're winning the AFC, but I didn't think coming into the season there was any chance. And sitting here through 5 weeks, there's a 6 weeks with a small chance.
They have four starters out of their secondary: Mooney Ward, Jalen Jones, Justin Wally, and Kenny Moore.
Yeah.
Those are their starting quarters coming into the year.
But the
They've all
guys who
missed.
have played in the defensive backfield have been pretty good.
I will say they need to be lucky that Marvin Harrison Jr. was injured. I think he had a big game coming in.
That loss written all over it.
Yeah, if he played up to his potential, the Colts were in a lot of trouble. I don't know if they could have covered him in the second half. Obviously, didn't have to worry about it with a concussion. They have the most efficient offensive line and offensive system in the entire league. They're top 5 in almost every category. Jonathan Taylor is exceptional. O-line's a top 3 unit right now in the league. Chris Ballard said, I think I've got my guys, and I'm starting to believe him because...
Got to upgrade that defense, but otherwise I agree with him. My question is, will the Colts appear on our next segment?
And well, who are the 5 teams most likely to win Super Bowl 60 in the play?
Number 5, Detroit Lions.